Good morning, and welcome. Welcome to Kindness Rising, your morning dose of hope, humanity, and heart, and more high fives for you. The healthiest team in the world is going to make a mistake today. So is the least healthy team. The difference will not be the mistake. It'll be what happens next. Does somebody hide it? Does everybody blame each other? Do they repair what broke? Because resilience isn't about avoiding every fall. It's shortening the distance between the fall and the moment you begin climbing again. Today, we begin week 4 of Without a Net. The wheel keeps turning. The question is, will we? Good morning, friends. This is Kindness Rising. It is Kindness Rising. What's up this morning, Kindness crew? It is good to see you. Good to see you, Jess and Sully and everybody else that's out there. Mornings in the lab. Keith, good morning. Happy Friday morning to you, good sir. Absolutely. Again, this is week 4 of Without a Net, and our theme all this week has been Own Your Mess. We certainly covered some ground on Monday. My buddy Ernie and I sent some paint cascading down an entire set of stairs, and we learned to name the entire staircase. Tuesday, we tied a rope to my bicycle as part of a Rocky III inspired fitness program until I got run over by that program, and we learned to untie the rope. On Wednesday, we talked about the dead and 5,127 prototypes, and we learned not to waste the mistake. Yesterday was accountability without shame, a leader's response to bad news becomes the team's policy on honesty. And today we ask the final question. After you own it, interrupt it, learn from it, and tell the truth about it, how do you move forward? Because the goal was never to become mistake-proof. That's the job of about 1,000 connections on LinkedIn. The real goal is to become mistake-resilient, to recover, to repair, to rebuild, and to keep moving. The wheel keeps turning. Are you? All right. Welcome, everybody. I got an itchy nose. Something about this. My nose starts itching. I wonder if it's like nerves or some kind of reaction. What the hell? All right. Own one's mess, unlike a cat, covering their own doo-doo. Yes, we cover our doo-doo, don't we? I have 4 cats that cover a lot of doo-doo. I cannot believe that 4 cats can produce so much waste. Are you kidding me? These little animals. Like, where does it come from? I don't know. Anyway, thanks for joining me again every weekday morning, 7:30 a.m. right here on Kindness Rising as the starter for the Mornings in the Lab Network. But then get on over to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends at 8 a.m. today. Good morning, Roseanne. Mother, I am glad you are here. All right. Let's get it going. We tend to admire people who appear unshakable. The person who never seems rattled, never gets discouraged, never doubts themselves, or never needs a minute. That person may exist. They may also be repressing something that's going to come out at the least convenient time. Real resistance does not mean nothing affects you. It means what affects you does not define you. You can be disappointed without being defeated. You can make a mistake without becoming the mistake, and you can lose momentum without direction. But here is the distinction. Resilience isn't how little you feel, it's how honestly you recover. The goal isn't to bounce back as though nothing happened. Something did happen. The goal is just to move forward carrying the lesson, but not carrying the shame. That's what we're doing right here today on Kindness Rising, along with all our other fun and games that we do. Absolutely, including our Who in the World Challenge. Today, we're bringing the Who in the World Challenge to you right here from Kindness Rising. Three clues throughout today's episode to guess the person who is aligned with our topic or of interest to us or just somebody I want to talk about. But here is your first clue today. All right, you out there, Keith? Another Canadian began acting professionally in Canada long before most people knew his name. A Canadian actor is the category, I guess. Canadian actors is the category. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. It is a Friday, and we're going to get to it, but I need a little hit of coffee here to get me going this morning. Another beautiful, busy day ahead for us. Keith's thinking about a Canadian actor. We'll get to the second clue in just a minute. Maybe you'll get it from that. But first, and always, every single day here on Kindness Rising, we highlight good people doing good work through our kindness spotlight, and today is no different. Absolutely no different. Let's get that music down. God, that must have been annoying to you all. I just noticed how loud it was. Hopefully you can hear me a little better now. All right, today's kindness spotlight is an organization called All Hands and Hearts. All Hands and Hearts is a global disaster relief organization that works alongside communities after hurricanes, earthquakes, floods, and other crises. The volunteers clean up the debris, repair homes, rebuild schools, and restore safe places. They help community move from immediate survival through long-term recovery, and certainly they are global. You can see that map here, all the different responses all around the world. And what's interesting to this is an organization that emerged out of a merger of two organizations doing good work. Model and activist Petra Nemkova survived the tsunami in Thailand in 2004 by clinging to a palm tree for hours. That experience helped her create Happy Hearts Fund. And entrepreneur David Campbell, he responded to the tsunami later and founded the All Hands Volunteers. In 2007, the two missions came together to create All Hands and Hearts. And what I love about their work is they understand recovery isn't one dramatic moment. It's not, the storm ended, everybody's fine. Recovery is mud and broken walls and damaged classrooms, lost belongings, exhaustion, and people showing up again and again the next morning. All Hands and Hearts does not arrive pretending the disaster didn't happen. They step directly into what happened. And that's the heart of today's message. You can't always prevent what breaks, but you can decide what you help rebuild. Today's kindness spotlight is All Hands and Hearts. All right. Thanks for joining here on Kindness Rising. Mornings in the Lab is guessing John Candy, but he's wrong. 1X. I'm going to do one more little segment, and then we'll get to the second clue, Keith. Hang in there with me and all the rest of this. Us. All the rest of us? All the rest of us, yes. All right. Throughout the series, we have talked about what it means to play without a net. Yep, that's what this is, without a net. But today we're going to talk about, during the construction of the Golden Gate Bridge, how they actually built a net. Chief Engineer Joseph Strauss introduced safety measures that were unusual for major construction projects at the time. And the most visible was a large safety net suspended underneath the bridge floor. 19 workers fell into that net and survived. Unfortunately, 10 died, or 11 died, 10 in one incident when the net actually broke. They probably would have survived if the net didn't break. The 19 who fell and survived, though, they have a great name. I wish I had this patch. The Halfway to Hell Club. That is one of the most vivid names in workplace safety history. They fell, they were caught, and they returned to work. The net didn't eliminate the danger, and 11 men still died during the bridge's construction. But before that tragedy, the net had saved 19 lives. Yep, that's pretty important. We often talk about courage as though courage means needing nothing beneath us. No support, no backup, no second chance. But courage and support, they're not opposites. The net didn't build the bridge, the workers did. The net simply made some of their falls survivable, and that is what psychological safety really is. Not a guarantee that nobody will fall, not permission to work carelessly, and certainly not a soft cushion protecting everyone from any form of responsibility. But it's a net. It's trust, honesty, belonging. People who will tell you the truth. People who will help you climb back up. A net does not lower the standards. It just makes the fall survivable. That is what the best teams build beneath one another. And that's today's wait. They actually built a net. I didn't do a wait. That happened today. Let's get to that second clue because I know Keith has just got to get over to his show, but he's dying to know who this person is. The first person, their first clue. This person began acting professionally in Canada, long before most people knew his name. Second clue, another little hint. He turned professional adversity into one of the most influential research and advocacy efforts ever in modern medicine. A Canadian actor who turned personal adversity into research and advocacy efforts. Yeah, so there's a lot of organizations out there. I appreciate you. Habitat for Humanity is probably the most well-known organization for recovery. There's lots of them out there. This one came from the 2004 tsunami. Did people remember where they were when the tsunami? I remember right where I was the first time I heard about it. I do. I was in Geneva, New York, and I was driving on Main Street on my way to work listening to NPR. I remember it. I don't know why, but I do. All right. Research Corner. Let's talk about recovery because people often think resilience is a personal trait, but it's not. You either have it or you don't. No. You're naturally tough or naturally fragile. No. Resilience is actually a process. It can be practiced and strengthened and supported by the environment around us. A resilient person still needs recovery. They still need repair. And a resilient organization still needs time to learn what happened. So here is a simple tool for the next time something goes wrong, and I'm calling it my 3-step reset. First, stabilize. Before you solve everything, stop the immediate damage. Take a breath. Pause the argument. Secure the situation. Untie the rope. You won't design the entire fitness program while you're still being dragged through a hedge. First, you stabilize. Second, you study. You ask what happened. What did we miss? What changed? Not who did this. Don't rush past the lesson because everyone is eager to feel normal again. Normal may be what created the problem in the first place. Study it. Lastly, step back in. Apply what you learned. Try again. Have the next conversation. Maybe build another prototype, or like the dead, you just play the next note. Resilience is completed through re-entry, not merely surviving the event, but returning to a meaningful participation. Stabilize, study, step back in. That is how the wheel begins moving again. Thank you very much. All right. What's going on out there? Any more guesses? Dude, this is good. It is good. It is good. Yep, it's good. We're going to get to that last clue. That's the dead giveaway right after I talk about the dead and not what they give away, or actually maybe a little bit about what they give away. This is Without a Net. Every day I come here and we talk about safety, psychological safety. That's what we're focused on right now. How we can all have better conversations, make those hard conversations a little bit easier for everyone by combining care and challenge, finding that right balance. We talked about that a lot this week for sure. Talking about building trust. The foundation is all about trust, vulnerability-based trust, not just I trust you to finish the job or I trust that you'll show up to work on time, but I trust you to understand, to share, to be honest enough. I care enough about you to be honest with you. And I hope that you care enough to be honest with me. Absolutely. But one of the things that we are going to get to the dead, I promise, but that's what Without a Net has been about this week. One of the things I love most about the dead is they didn't build their reputation playing flawlessly. They built creating a live environment, live concerts, and where there's risk, improvisation, uncertainty, and occasionally a musical decision that should have remained maybe a little private thought. Someone might miss a lyric, a transition might wobble, a jam might reach some extraordinary new place, or it might wander into the woods and refuse to answer its phone. But they keep listening. The dead keep listening. They kept listening. They kept responding and playing. And then they came back the next night and did it again. Not exactly the same. Wiser, perhaps. Different, definitely. Perfect? Never. Never perfect. That was never the point. And that is why The Wheel by The Dead is such a fitting song for this week. The wheel turns, life moves, momentum changes, plans break, and people fall. The world will not stop while we decide whether we are embarrassed. Absolutely. And we talked about it all week long with the painted staircase and the bicycle gaining momentum. That road changed, but the plan stopped working, and we had to learn that sometimes persistence means continuing, and sometimes means wisdom means letting go of the rope. The Grateful Dead, they kept reinventing familiar songs. Dick Fosbury, we talked about him. He found a better way to get over the bar. They didn't merely repeat failure with greater enthusiasm. They learned. Yesterday, we talked about what happens when bad news enters the room, because recovery requires truth. You can't repair what everyone is still pretending didn't break. And today, we were reaching that final lesson. Eventually, we have to step back in. We have to pick up the instrument, walk back into the room, return to the workbench, try again. Not because the fall didn't matter, because it did. And now you know something you didn't know before. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what the workers above the Golden Gate did. They fell into the net and then they climbed and returned to the bridge. That's what musicians do after a wrong note. They don't stop and hold a committee hearing. They listen for the next note. And that's what we are invited to do today. Not erase the mistake, not romanticize the fall, not pretend we were never hurt. Recover, repair, re-enter, and keep playing, because the wheel keeps turning, and so should you. That is it. All right, Keith, we're going to get to your last clue. Rick Moranis was a good guess, too. Nope, not true. A Canadian actor long before people knew his name. He turned personal adversary into one of the most influential research and advocacy efforts in modern medicine. And here it is, the last clue that's going to seal the deal for everybody. He once climbed into a DeLorean and accidentally sent an entire generation back to 1955. There it is, the final clue. All right, let's get to our compass. Compass. All right. Today's compass is called Keep Turning. Where have you allowed one mistake or disappointment to become the final chapter? What support would make your next step more survivable? That's what I'm trying to ask. Who in your life needs to know that falling doesn't remove them from the team? Today's challenge is simple. Choose one place where you've stopped moving. Not rested, not thoughtfully paused. Stopped because you're embarrassed. You're discouraged. You're afraid of another fall. I'm asking you to take a step back in, send the email, make the call, reopen the draft of that book you're writing, return to the conversation, and try the next version. And when you do, remember the reset. Stabilize, study, step back in. You don't have to rebuild the whole bridge today. Just return to the work. There it is. Sully's in. Sorry. He pronounced sorry, everybody. Or as our friend Keith says, graj or mum. I love the Canadian accent. A boot. You put the puck in the corner. I had a coach from Canada, hockey coach. He always said corner. What's the corner? He's talking about the corner of the rink, the corner. The puck in the corner. All right. Yes, Sully, you're right. Our person is Michael J. Fox. He first became widely known as Alex P. Keaton on Family Ties, and then as Marty McFly in Back to the Future. Absolutely. At age 29, though, Michael J. Fox was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. He kept the diagnosis private for years before sharing it publicly in 1998. And in 2000, he founded the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's research. His life and career changed. His movement changed. His speech changed. The future that he was expecting absolutely changed, but he didn't disappear from public life. He became an advocate, an author, a fundraiser, a voice for the scientific progress related to Parkinson's disease. And importantly, really importantly, I think he's done it all with humor. He's described himself as an incurable optimist while also being honest that optimism is not pretending everything is good. It's recognizing that you still have choices about how you respond. And his foundation continues to focus on accelerating research toward better treatments and a cure. I don't want to turn Michael J. Fox into a motivational poster because Parkinson's was definitely not a charming little plot twist. It's been difficult, it's progressive, it's unfair, and resilience does not mean smiling brightly enough to make suffering inspirational for everybody else. It means telling the truth about what is hard while refusing to surrender every remaining possibility. Fox once had an acting career, and then Parkinson's became part of that career. And then advocacy became part of the story. Then research became the next chapter in the story. The wheel kept turning, and he kept finding another way. He keeps finding ways to participate. That's the lesson. Resilience is not becoming the person you were before everything changed. Sometimes that person is actually gone. Resilience is discovering who you can become now. Michael J. Fox's story isn't powerful because he never struggled. It's powerful because the struggle didn't end his participation. The form changed, the mission expanded, and the wheel keeps turning, and so does he. Supporting Michael J. Fox. Absolutely. I admire his wife too, who's on Family Ties. Yeah. His wife was on Family Ties, and so was the other one there, Courtney Cox. Absolutely. And yes, I agree. It's watching that story unfold, the support of people. I mean, I think it was last year or maybe 2 years ago that Fox showed up at a Comic-Con where they were doing a Back to the Future. I think he goes to a lot of them, but there was a big one because it was the first time he and oh my God, my brain. I can't believe I can't think of his name. The actor who played Doc. Yeah. Oh my God, what is wrong with my brain right now? That's crazy that I can't come up with that. Anyway, they had a very heartwarming reunion on stage. It was all over. I know you guys saw it, but yeah. All right. Well, we blew through the episode. We've got a little bit of time left here. What are we going to talk about? What are we going to? Christopher Lloyd. Thank you, Christopher Lloyd. I was thinking Lloyd something. It's Christopher Lloyd. Yeah, from Taxi. Jim Ignatowski. One of my, okay, since we got time, let's just bullshit about stuff. You guys remember Eddie Murphy's impression of Jim Ignatowski in Star Trek? That was pretty funny. You don't want to give me the Genesis device? Okie doke. Pretty funny. I loved Christopher Lloyd in Taxi. That was a great show. I mean, let's do it. I mean, we're having our Gen X Fandom Friday. Let's talk about Taxi. Let's talk about all the stars that appeared on that show. Tony Danza, the short guy. Oh my, what's wrong with my brain today? Danny DeVito, Christopher Lloyd, Andy Kaufman. My brain is having trouble with names today. Usually I'm like boom, 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 boom. The woman, Kane, what's her name? Carol Kane, was that her name? Yeah. Oh yeah, Taxi. And other thing I love about Taxi, one of my favorite things, that opening sequence. Just a song in a cab driving across the bridge, but that song is instrumental. Jim Conway, thank you. Yes, is that his name, Jim Conway? The guy from Greece who had all the addiction problems and died. Yeah, keep going. They're out there. Judd Hirsch. Who else? Who else am I missing? I think I got the majority. Oh, what's her name? The redhead. Anyway, the redhead. We'll just call her the redhead. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. So let's talk about last night. Maybe last night erased the part of my brain that remembers names. I'm not sure. Yep. So Mary Lou Henner. Thank you, Sully. Jeez. Mary Lou Henner. Yep. That's the name. Thank you. Last night was California Honey Drops. We had a blast. It was awesome. They were great. Um, I talked about them last year. If you ever have a chance, you want to listen to some really fun, soulful, just you can't be in a bad mood when you listen to the California Honey Drops. They are awesome, and they did not disappoint last night. Actually, it was the kickoff. It was the opening of their East Coast summer tour last night. So they were in high form, and we had a blast. And what was most important to me last year, just my wife and I went. This year, all four of us got a chance to go. All four of us were home. We had some fun, drive, few laughs, people watching, of course, the best part of those community events and concerts, but a free concert. The advantage of small community, for sure. The local bank here, NBT Bank, actually 100% sponsors this concert series Thursday nights in the park. And it's not just local yokels. We're talking about major acts. Yep. So Sully, yeah. So California Honey Drops is like 6 or 7 skinny white dudes from Oakland who play a lot of the feel. A lot of the feel is like Sam Cooke and that kind of thing. 2 saxophones, a tuba, a trombone, guitars. The drummer plays a washboard. They actually started, the lead singer and the drummer started as buskers on the corners in Oakland. The guy playing guitar and singing, and the other guy playing the washboard right on the corners of Oakland. And then they grew and grew and grew. And now they have, it's funk, it's New Orleans, it's soul. It's just really, really good music. Highly recommend the California Honey Drops. This has been a commercial for the California Honey Drops. Check them out in a town near you. All right. Yep, we're killing time talking about that. And then next week, War. Sully, you I love War. Eric Burton and War, great band. What was the song that War had? That was it? Is that War? Green Eyed Lady? No. The one where it's like a epic song, and he goes and he sings, he drinks out of a goblet, and I don't even remember. Spill the wine with that. Thank you, Sully. That's it. Spill the wine with that girl. Yep, nice, great tune. Great tune. It reminds me of Tolkien, the way he describes, and it's like a talking over. Nice, dude. Spill the wine. All right. Well, I've yacked enough about Eric Burton and War and Michael J. Fox and the California Honey Drops. You prefer the California Honey Pots? All right, Maximil, I get you. All right. That's funny. Okay, no, the California Honey Drops. Check them out if you have a chance. Honey Pots, Honey Drops, whatever. All right, you make yourself laugh, don't you, Maximal? I like it. All right. That's it. Let's pull the thread. That's the week. That is the week that was without a net, owning our mess. Let's weave the thread, pull the thread. Heck, I'm mixing my metaphors, whatever. This week began with a mess. Paint on the floor, paint on the wall, paint on the staircase, and maybe that's where the most meaningful growth begins. Not with a perfect plan, but with something real that needs our attention. This week we learned to name the whole staircase, own the complete truth. When a mistake or a problem happens, look at the whole thing. Untie the rope was the other thing we did. We interrupt the pattern before momentum takes control. Don't waste the mistake. Make sure we're turning our failure into information. Make it Thursday. We talked about make it safe to tell. Create a culture where truth does not need a bodyguard. And finally, keep turning, recover, repair, rebuild, and step back in. Playing without a net does not mean believing you will never fall. It means developing the courage to take the next step and building relationships strong enough to help one another survive the fall. The Grateful Dead had one another listening for the next note. Maybe none of us truly plays alone. Maybe the net is trust and honesty. For the person who says you made a mistake, let's figure out what happens next. The wheel keeps turning, and so should you. Not recklessly, not pretending nothing happened, but wiser, more honest, and more compassionate, and ready to play the next note. Thank you for spending week 4 of Without a Net with me. Next week, we are going to, actually, next week's big. Next week, you know what next week is in Grateful Dead land? It's called The Days Between. If you don't know what the days between are, come back Monday morning, 7:30 a.m., and I will keep you informed. But until then, get over to see Keith and John over at Mornings in the Lab. Mornings in the Lamb. Mornings in the Lab. Stay uncommon and stay kind until then, all right? Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends coming up right